Hi, Reverend Paula Zabkar here from Spiritual Soul Center with a soul session for you the middle of this week. I've been reading this book called The One Life We're Given by Mark Nepo, and it's really hitting home for me in a lot of ways. And I want to share this short story for you that Mark shares about a friend of his. This is under a chapter called Knocked Off Our Horse. He says this: a friend of mine who was highly principled, absolute in his code of ethics, once cut off a mutual friend completely because he learned that the friend had lied. It wasn't even that he lied to him, but he couldn't tolerate any falsehood in his relationships. Almost a decade later, my principled friend fell onto hard times. His wife had died, he'd lost his job, and desperate for work, he lied on his resume, saying he'd resigned. I learned all this because he wanted me to be a reference for him, which I happily would do. But in the process, he confessed to me that he had become what he had condemned. It humbled him. It made us both suspend our judgment about such things, because in real life, good people suffer and find themselves being less than their best selves. Just because someone lies when in pain doesn't make him incapable of truth. And when someone says something hurtful, it doesn't mean she's now incapable of love. So I was wondering to myself how often I've held someone else to a standard that I eventually was unable to meet my own self, and how in my judgment that maybe I even brought it to my attention in that way, to bring into my experience in order to be humbled, in order to recognize that as human beings, with emotions, with all of the falling down and getting up, that we always don't operate and act according to our highest ideal. I think it's wise, and it's been wise for me this week, to look in the mirror and recognize that for myself. And by doing so, become more kind, become more humble, and in that, become more loving. That's my message for today. That's my way of being that I hope to become. And so it is. Amen.